Prince Harry's tensions with a close aide to the Queen were described as irrelevant to his change in status during a hearing focused on the Duke of Sussex's security in the UK. Sir James Eide QC, who represented the Home Office during a hearing at the Royal Courts of Justice held on July 7, said in written arguments that any tensions between Prince Harry and royal household officials are irrelevant to his change in status. He said, in his skeleton, the claimant now refers to objections he might have made to any role being played by officials of the royal household in Rivek's decision-making, apparently because of personal tensions he felt with them. But there is no bias challenge and any such tensions are irrelevant to the undisputed fact of the claimant's change in status which led to the decision of Rivek. The inability of the claimant even now to explain how a process of representations could or would have assisted is striking. Rivek is the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures. Prince Harry is challenging a decision made in February 2020 by this body, which falls under the remit of the Home Office, over his security after he was told he would no longer be given the same degree of personal protective security when visiting his home country due to the fact he is no longer a working royal. Sir James replied to a statement made by one of Prince Harry's lawyers, Shade Fatima QC. The Duke's legal representative argued in favour of the judge granting permission for a full judicial review of the Home Office's decision not to allow the Prince to pay for his and his family's police protection when in the UK. Harry's legal team is seeking to argue the security arrangements set out in a letter from Rivek and their application when he visited the UK in June 2021, ahead of the unveiling of Princess Diana's statue at Kensington Palace, were invalid. His lawyers claim this is due to procedural unfairness because he was not given an opportunity to make informed representations beforehand. In written arguments, Ms. Fatima QC said the Duke was not given a clear and full explanation of the composition of Rivek, such as that it included members of the royal household, and those involved in its decision-making. She also told the court, he didn't know at that stage that the royal household was involved at all, he was told it was an independent decision. In an opinion piece for U.S. business magazine Fast Company headline "Social media is dividing us. Together, we can redesign it," Harry said that he and his wife, Meghan, have spent the past few weeks calling business leaders and marketing executives on the issue. Companies like yours have the chance to reconsider your role in funding and supporting online platforms that have contributed to, stoked, and created the conditions for a crisis of hate, a crisis of health, and a crisis of truth, wrote Harry. He did not name any companies. Harry, the grandson of Queen Elizabeth, called for online communities to be defined more by compassion than hate, by truth instead of misinformation, by equity and inclusiveness instead of injustice and fear-mongering, by free, rather than weaponized, speech. Harry and Meghan, formerly known as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, now live in Los Angeles after stepping down from their royal roles in March to forge new careers. They moved out of the UK after growing media hostility. In a speech last month, Meghan urged teen girls and young women to drown out sometimes painfully loud negative online chatter with positivity. Harry in his opinion piece urged companies to use their advertising dollars to demand change from the very places that give a safe haven and vehicle of propagation to hate and division. The May 2018 wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle was the stuff of fairy tales, at least on the surface. Behind the scenes, it was reportedly a tsunami of temper tantrums, shouting matches and even a tiff over a tiara. Palace sources report that the preparation for the Sussex union was all drama, all the time. Tina Brown writes in her new book, The Palace Papers, Inside the House of Windsor, The Truth in the Turmoil, Crown, out Tuesday. Meghan's Mo was seen as revving up Harry when she sensed any obstruction. There was the now infamous spat with the Queen's trusted dresser and confidant, Angela Kelly, over which tiara Markle would get to wear, prompting Harry to bellow, "Whatever Meghan wants, Meghan gets." And who can forget Markle's dust-up with her future sister-in-law Kate Middleton, reportedly over tights for the Flower Girls, that ended with, depending on who's telling the story, either Middleton or Markle or both in tears. In the story,